Hello Duke, Matthew here with freeprescriptionlenses.com, and with the help of my GoPro camera, I'm going to show you how I cut your prescription lenses for your RayBan 5114, color 2034 in size 52. That color is the black crystal. So let me begin. I'm going to pop out your original demo lenses that RayBan has put in your frame. Let's pop those original ones out. Put this in here, and I'm going to trace your frame in my Santinelli edger, the Santinelli LE1000. The stylus is now tracing the shape of your right lens, and then it's going to scoot over and trace the shape of your left lens here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed with quality. You buy a genuine RayBan frame and you get free clear prescription lenses. You pay the upgrade to the anti-glare, but that's all you paid for your lenses. So let me pull this shape up on the computer. Type in your pupillary distance of 67. That's going to go right there. 67 it is. This is a polycarbonate frame. Polycarbonate lens being cut on the soft cycle because of the anti-glare. And this is cut for a plastic frame. So let's begin. Your right eye reads minus 150, minus 1 at 150. I'm going to take your lens out of the protective sleeve. Spin the axis wheel on my Marco 101 lensometer. Pull up minus 150. I'm going to put your lens in, rotate it around until I find the optical center. The sphere power comes in clearly. Then I'm going to scoot everything over, check the astigmatism. We're looking good there. I'm going to put some dots on the lenses that you can't see. So I'm going to take my pen and darken those. Put those there because we'll need to see those later. And let's mark this one right. I'm going to put that there. And let me do the same thing for your left. Minus 175 and minus 1 at 20. Spin that over to 20. Your power is minus 175. Put that in there. Rotate your lens so the sphere power comes in clear. Check the cross curve, which is your astigmatism. That's lining up perfectly. Let's put some dots on this one and label this one left. So what I'm doing by putting those red dots on there is I'm trying to get a straight line, a meridian. So if I have the crosshairs of a scope vertically and horizontally, I'm going to get that lined up there perfectly. So let me clean up my lens packets. Now this block is what's going to hold your lens in place in the lathe while it's cutting. So I need to put this onto the lens. I've got a little double-sided sticky pad from 3M. The black side is the sticky side. I'm going to stick that on there, pull away the double-sided tape, revealing another sticky side. And you can't see this, but this is where I line up your optical center, and the vertical and the horizontal meridian, and that red dot is going to sit dead center in front of your pupil. Let me do the same thing for the left eye. Put that little sticker on there, pull away the tape, and the left side is now blocked. Now the anti-glare coating, which I'll explain in a moment, but one of the side effects of it, is that it's a hydrophobic lens, meaning that it hates water. So it's slippery while it's cutting, so I'm going to put one more sticker on the back side of each lens so it holds it in place. It does not slip while it's cutting. So I'm going to put your lens into the chuck and hit start. Let me make sure that the trap is not full. It is not. So the first thing that's going to happen is the caliper is going to come down and trace the shape of your frame onto the lens, making sure it's large enough to cut out. It is tracing the concave side of the lens first, which is closest to your eyelashes. Then it's going to scoot over and trace the convex side of the lens, which sits away from your face. All the while using the calipers to measure the thickness of the lens to know exactly where to put the bevel. The actual cutting wheel is down here on the left. It is that lighter color wheel. It looks like a heavy grit sandpaper. That's going to grind away your polycarbonate material until it's the final shape. This wheel in the center with the channel on it is what's going to put the bevel onto the lens so it stays inside the bevel of the frame. Now we'll have to close the door in a moment, but I just want to see is your prescription lenses as it touches down on the cutting wheel. This whole process should take about 15 minutes. It's now 7:21 on Tuesday, April 22nd, 81 degrees in my hometown of Durham, North Carolina. At least according to my Samsung Gear watch. This is a really nice RayBan frame in the black and the crystal. I'm wearing the new Wayfarer in a blue and a crystal. You see that crystal in a lot more pieces nowadays. I usually wear my blue and crystal when I've got a blue shirt with a pattern on it. anything blue and white. Now your lenses are, and pull these packets back out, the polycarbonate lenses that you have, polycarb, are also aspheric. Well, let me back up a little bit. Polycarb is 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. It is also virtually unbreakable. It is also bulletproof up to 22 caliber and has both UVA and UVB protection. We know what the sun's harmful rays can do to your skin. Your eyes are 8 times more sensitive than your skin. So you forever have permanent sunscreen for your eyes now. Now the other thing about your lenses are they're aspheric. It's much flatter. Most online companies will sell you plastic lenses. If you want to pay the upgrade to polycarbonate to get them thinner, they'll get you for that, and then they charge you extra more for an aspheric lens, so it doesn't give you that round fishbowl look in your frames. This is where I start. You do not pay a penny for these. You buy the frame, you get aspheric polycarb lenses for free, and of course you just pay the upgrade to the anti-glare. The anti-glare coating, it eliminates 3 features in one. The safety feature, it's a safety feature, it's a cosmetic feature, and then it's a practical feature. The safety feature is that it eliminates glare when driving at night, particularly driving at night in the rain. No glare from oncoming lights. It also eliminates any glare source from street lights, stop lights, computer screens, overhead lights, fluorescent lights, all of that. Now the cosmetic feature, this lens on the right does not have that coating. You can see the reflections from the overhead lights on the lens. Now when someone's looking at you, they won't see their reflection in your glasses, so it makes for much better eye contact. And most importantly, the number one reason people get it, if someone takes a picture with a flash, you don't see the flash lit up in the lens. You see just your eyes. Now the third feature that I like, the practical side, is that it comes with the industry's best scratch coating, the best scratch protection, in order to protect the best coating they can put on there, which is the anti-glare. So you're getting nothing on God's green earth is unscratchable. There's nothing that is scratch proof, not even diamonds. Diamonds can scratch also. But it has the best scratch protection of any lens out there. So if you notice, water has just kicked in. It's just washing away any optical debris at the very end where plastic and high index lenses cut wet, polycarbonate cut dry. There was no water running on the lens for the majority of the cycle, only for the last of the cleaning process. So I'm going to take your lens out and see if it fits, and because of the anti-glare coating, it's extra slippery. So I'm going to dry your lens off. So I am not about to drop this on live TV. That would be quite embarrassing. So you still have a little bit of rough edges, so I'm going to go around the edge of your lens and put on what's known as the safety bevel. Everything is now smooth, and I'm using my thumbnails to scrape away that white powdery substance known as Schwarf. I scrape that off of your lens. I will drop it onto the counter. Once it's all on the counter, I very carefully collect it and then wipe it on the floor. And this is where I love to say in every video, kids, I went to school for years to learn how to wipe stuff on the floor. Stay in school, learn how to make a mess like me. So, here we go. Let's go ahead and see if your lens fits. I'm going to tuck it in at the outside corner. Using my thumbs, I press down at the nose. Snaps in perfectly. So let's go ahead and cut the left lens. I'm going to move this over and hit start for the left. Just like as you witnessed before, the caliper is going to come down and trace the concave side of the lens first. Then it's going to scoot over and trace the convex side of the lens, measuring the thickness of the lens, knowing exactly where to put the bevel onto the lens so it stays inside the bevel of the frame. This machine costs $30,000. I recommend everyone go out and get one, and that way they can learn to cut lenses at home. So Duke, we are halfway through. By the way, that's the name of the university in my hometown of Durham. Duke University. I know that's your nickname, but that rings true around here. So, I'm going to pop that block off. It's no longer needed. I'm going to pull the sticker off the back of your lens, put that on the counter, and while that one is cutting, I'm going to spin the axis wheel back to 150 to test the axis, make sure everything is cut properly. I'm going to put that in there. Your spear power of minus 150 comes in perfectly. We have 1, 1 1/4, 150, 175, 2. As you can see, that 150 is halfway between 1 and 2. Hopefully you can see that. Now you have an additional 1 diopter of astigmatism, I'm going to check for that. And if someone owed you $150 and they owed you another $1, you would have $250. We are at $250 on the wheel, halfway between 2 and 3. So that is checked out perfectly. I'm going to leave that red dot on there to test your pupillary distance. Now your prescription. Your right eye reads from left to right minus 150, minus 1 at 150. Your left eye reads minus 175, minus 1 at 20. Without your glasses on, things are actually magnified larger than they really appear in real life. So your glasses minify, which is the opposite of magnify. Your lenses will minify what you are looking at. Now, the unit of measurement in the optical field is called a diopter. It is spelled D-I-O-P-T-E-R, and it's in quarter increments, 0 being plano, meaning nothing, 0.25, 0.50, 75, 1, 1 1/4, 150. So you need 6 steps of correction for your right eye to make everything the correct size that it should be. So if this were a ladder, you're on the 6th rung of a ladder. Now this gets everything the correct size. You have 4 steps of astigmatism correction. There is a stigma over the word astigmatism. It just means shape. It's like someone has straight hair, someone else has curly hair. That is it. It is not a disease. It is not an affliction. It fluctuates. It comes and goes. It's no big deal. So this first number, minus 150, makes everything the correct size. The extra 1 step of correction takes away the fuzzy edges, so 6s and 8s don't look alike. The letters P and F. The 150 is the fine-tune knob that goes with the astigmatism. So if my pupillary stick here, a PD stick, from 0 to 180 being a straight line with 90 and 270 being the vertical meridian. So you're at 150. So if this were 180, I'm going to rotate that. This is 90, 150, 180. So we turn that knob to about right there and everything gets clear. Now your left eye needs 1 more step of correction. You need 7 steps of correction there. 7 quarters gives you $1.75. So still another additional 1 full diopter of astigmatism, which is 4 steps, 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1. So you have a combined power of 275. So if someone owed you $1.75, they borrowed another $1, they would owe you $2.75, and that's what we're going to read as the final power on my Marco 101 lensometer. Your pupillary distance is 67 millimeters. So that's what we're going to measure with these red dots at the very end. We're going to get 67 millimeters from the left to the right lens. And then all is made perfectly. So we're at the water cycle. This is almost done. In just a moment, I will pull this out and we'll get this mounted into your frame. So out comes that. Here we are. Now again, I'm going to put the safety bevel onto the frame. Let me use my thumbnail to scrape this off, and I do this so much, I've worn a V-shaped bevel into my thumbnail. My friends call it my occupational thumbnail because I scrape lenses all day long. So let me collect all the swarf here, get that into my hand. Can you see that? And just in my wife's honor, I'm going to walk all the way over to the trash can. Look how far I had to go to do that. Who has time to do that in a regular day? So let's make sure your lens fits. I'm going to tuck it in at the outside corner, then using my thumbs, I press down at the nose, and it doesn't want to go in, so I'm going to take it down 1/10 of a millimeter more due to the fact that your lens is a little bit thicker, or therefore a little bit stronger, therefore making it a little bit thicker. So I'm going to take it down 1/10 of a millimeter. A millimeter is the distance between my thumbnails. I'm going to take it down 1/10 of that distance around the whole circumference of the lens. Now it's not going to the cutting wheel, it's just going back to the bevel wheel. And it's going to take 1/10 of a millimeter off all the way around. And as you can see, let me grab this high-tech tool. There is water running in the background, but not on the lens itself, not till the very end of the cycle. So polycarbonate cuts dry, and in just a little bit water will kick in. So there we go, there we go. The water's kicked in to wash away any optical debris. Of course, it's kind of a moot point because once I get it back over to the safety bevel, I'm going to put more on there. Okay, now let's see if it fits. Take this out of the chuck. Dry everything off so your lens is not slippery. Back to the handstone. Very quickly. Back to my thumbnail, going around very quickly. And I'm just going to drop stuff directly on the floor at this point. So, let's see if it fits again. So, I tuck it in at the outside corner closest to me, then using my thumbnails, press down and it snaps in perfectly. So, I'm going to take the block off. I'm going to take that little sticky pad off. Dry everything off. And let me go ahead and inspect. Your axis on your left eye is 20. I'm going to spin the axis wheel to 20. The main power is minus 175, minus 1. So the first thing I'm going to do, spin the power drum until minus 175 comes in perfectly, where we're almost at 2. You have one more adopter of astigmatism. That gives us 275, which is 1/4 step away from 3. So we're getting the full power. Now let's measure your pupillary distance, which is 67. I'm going to put the 0 on your right lens on this side. And when I measure, we're getting 67 on the pupillary, my PD stick. It's 3 tick marks before 70, so we know that is made accurately. Then the last thing I want to do before shipping to you, or the second to last thing, is clean these red dots off. And then I'm going to make sure they're adjusted properly, or at least sitting level on the table. Now, 99% of all optical shops do free adjustments, so if you get these and they're a little loose or a little tight, or they're sitting high on one side, just stop by your local place and ask them if they do free adjustments. It should only take them about 30 seconds where they fit perfectly, but in the short term, I'm going to make sure they sit level on the counter in standard alignment, meaning when I press down, there is no wobble. This is a 3-point stance, 1, 2, and the bottom of the frame being 3. I press down with my thumbs, there is no wobble, where I have one ear that's higher than the other, so when I press down, you see the wobble in my glasses, but they sit level on me. I flip yours over, I press down, there is no wobble. I close each temple to make sure they overlap perfectly, and they do. I also make sure the same amount of tension on both springs, and that is it. Duke, I hope you enjoyed watching your RayBan, what is this? RayBan 5114, color 2034, size 52. I hope you enjoyed watching your glasses being made. Anyone else out there who's got any questions, email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com, or just click the contact me on the website. Again, Duke, you could have bought your glasses from anyone, but you bought them from the guy who's going to give you free prescription lenses. Well played, sir. Again, all you paid for is the anti-glare coating on your lenses. I hope you enjoyed watching your glasses being made, and everyone else, I hope you got a chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.